Dear Oprah, 2 weeks ago, a meth head stole my Subaru. My dad bought me this car after I survived a bone marrow transplant to treat a secondary leukemia. I need your help right now. I am stranded in Nevada with no car and no money after my friend since 10 years old kicked me out of my Sacramento home for not doing my laundry, which never left my room. I've been depressed for over 10 years and survived cancer twice. I am struggling to find importance in my life and live well. I believe my story can help others, and I'm asking you for your aid as my journey through life sails past the darkness of my current beliefs. I signed over 42 pages of permission slips to start chemo, but until this year I was still afraid to try mushrooms that make me giggle. Since 16, I've lost that true feeling of home, wading through life in a fake shell of semi-acceptable with brief moments of light where I simply feel alright. I've been pulling my socks up in front of my mom since I watched her show in the mid-90s to tell her that I love her. I'm struggling to find purpose in my life, and I'm stressed every day adrift in a storm of my emotions. I've never been normal, and I always live in extremes. I need to heal, but I don't know how. Love and kindness have always lifted my darkness, but I seem to grow more towards numbness as life ventures on. I've felt hollow for so long now, I don't even know how to gain a genuine sense of solidity of myself. The one thing that tends to bring my heart home is a woman that loves me, body, mind, and soul, just holding me through the night. I have a terrible need for self-soothing, and I don't know how to quench it. I'm 25 now, and just recently started smoking cigarettes after years. After years of not smoking cigarettes. I didn't smoke before cancer, and I've spent years on Craigslist because I have erectile dysfunction, and every woman that I get close to having a relationship with, that's a very important thing to have, and I don't know how to just turn it on, and I don't want to be on Viagra for the rest of my life at 25 if it's caused by depression. And I'm pretty sure it cost me the love of my life, who's now married to a douchebag. I sit here aching for love day after day, and I watch women fall for the same assholes that are self-important, jealous, manipulative, abusers of their emotions, right? Because they feel it's their soulmate or true love, when it's just a shithole. Sorry for the negativity, I'm working on my positivity. I spent years searching Craigslist for the personal section for affection, but after a while, even all the ads that did answer erectile dysfunction shoots me down because they want to know what I did for the last few years, and as soon as you mention cancer, you get pity hugs and they ask you to leave. But when you go to the male side, right, so I did transsexual side, and just wrecked every bit of self-esteem and emotion that I had left, every image of myself as a man, that as a man, I say that. I've changed so much in the past few years from doing dirty stuff at night on Craigslist, because it changes a worldview that I held that was a tiny little bubble of what's acceptable and what's okay, and what you're allowed to do as a human being, when that's not right at all, and I still catch myself judging things day after day after day that are just unacceptable to me, and I'm tired of it. It hurts me inside to be so judgmental when I have no reason to be. Nobody does. If you're not hurting anybody else, you can do damn near whatever the fuck you want. I'll work on the cursing, I'm sorry. Not a lot of people start smoking cigarettes after 2 cancers at 25. I've been told by everyone I know that this is a bad choice, but I don't really care. Now my lungs are starting to care, my gums are starting to bleed because I shouldn't be smoking cigarettes, let alone cloves. Some people can't handle the spice. I love it. I have literally beat myself physically, emotionally, and mentally over the guilt and fear and shame that I have felt over sex that I had off of Craigslist with people that were of the same sex because that's not my preferred person or gender or preferred gender. There's a lot more to sexual orientation than I ever thought before, and labeling goes a long way into the wrong directions. I I have shaken and cried and beaten myself in a world in which my friends and family know nothing about, and I try to share with them. My life was already extreme and hard to compare, and now I've just made it a whole lot worse. And when I ride that accepting, that wave of like I accept who I am, it's great and it's fine and I'm comfortable with it. But when all of those other feelings just surface to the top and rip me under the waves, I'm not really prepared. And I don't know how to do that long term. There's little brief moments where I feel okay with myself and the world, and the rest of the time I'm just scared. And I'm raging and PTSD, and I've been to AA. That shit doesn't help me. AA doesn't fix emotion, right? And it's not something that just goes away. People are like, it's been 5 years since the cancer. Aren't you gonna get over it? When are you gonna stop saying that word? It's like, you realize at 16, when you were all going to high school and finding your first girlfriends and things, I was being told that I'm gonna die, right? Or that what? Not die, but I'm fucking sick. I'm horribly sick. And then at 20, when everybody's going off to college, getting their first job, moving out with their friends, I get told that I have a 42% chance of survival. Chemotherapy's not enough, and I need a bone marrow transplant. So then I'm going back to my composed sarcasm of I'm fine, trying to lighten the mood and everything, and my childhood oncologist comes in and goes, "You're not fine. You obviously don't realize how serious this is," and he starts crying in front of me. It takes a lot for a fucking pilot of a ship to tell you that the plane's going down, let alone start crying in front of a patient that he felt that he just saved years ago. I don't want others suffering the same fear and shame I've literally beaten myself over. Life is too hard to be so scared every day. Cancer is an incredible thing, filled with pain, love, fear, drugs, and if you're lucky, your family. I'm tired of watching people die and fear money all the way to the grave. My nan just passed away on my birthday, October 6th, of her second cancer after 40 years of surviving breast cancer. She was 86 and one of my best friends. I miss her, and I'm named after her husband, my father's father, Douglas Hodge. He called my mother in the hospital when I was born to tell her not to give me his middle name so I could be proud of having my very own name. It's taken me a long time to get there, but I am very proud of my name and who I am. I still cry a lot. My papa died too early. He died of a heart attack while he was working manual labor job. In his mid-70s, he was still working every day hard ass upholstery. His own business that he built and ran for over 30 years. I don't wish to follow in his footsteps, though I've never been truly academically inclined or very intelligent. I've felt dumb my whole life. Seems like my only talents are sarcasm and survival. And even at those, I'm barely mediocre. I've been trying really hard for just reaching okay my whole life, and I'm becoming tired. I'm crying right now, and it feels real. I wrote that like a day ago, but I'm actually crying now, so I think it works. I'm okay with anyone crying, but I never know when mine are justified. Hurt, I imagine, never truly disappears, and I feel so much for so many I don't know how to function most days. I sleep my life away or do my best to avoid people. A 5-year-old I met in Nevada had just put yellow sticky notes on my head to give me new hair because he was sad. He was sad that chemo took my hair away. I wrote a few pages. I'm going between free-based thought to you in the moment and what I've written down, because I want to project positivity and I'm a bit of a negative person sometimes. I'd like to move to Oregon. It's where a lot of my family lives now. I'd like to grow organic vegetables. I'd like to go to college. I'd like to find peace in beautiful surroundings, start doing more yoga. Serenity on earth is my goal, to reach a path from which I may be of help to others. Most of my life, I now sit and think. It takes hearty doses of adrenaline to pull me back to my physical body. Sports and activities like wakeboarding I used to think I sucked at and I was horrible at. Now I think so much I can't even enjoy the moment of which I'm up on the board and I'm trying to do things. I can't get out of my head because I've been thinking so long it's hard. I started smoking weed and it pulled me from thought and then it brought me to thought and now I can't pull myself away from it. I've stopped smoking weed, but the thinking, I just never stop now. I know for me at least, cancer came with a lot of anger and life comes with a bunch of rules. Trying to explain rules to your emotions doesn't really work most of the time. I want to develop a cool place where people going through life or sickness can express themselves and share without feeling like it's an old therapist, but people just like them going through their own adventure. A place with toys, games, and music and food, everything free, as long as everyone is respectful of everyone else. I've always wanted to be an actor, happy, sad, mad, and scared. I've lived through depths and heights most will never acknowledge with the respect they deserve of emotion, feelings, and tragedies. Life has been yeses, nos, schedules, and shows, medicines, rules, punishments, presents, heartaches, joys, toys, boys, girls, guys, wise, women, dreams, and pain. But still, I trained to reach the shape I've always wanted. Even during chemotherapy, I thought I was fat. At 16, I went from being a growth hormone deficient kid who was an online, homeschooled kid because I had a growth deficiency and I couldn't handle being made fun of anymore. I was already made fun of my whole life at school for being the short kid. Now my hormones had literally turned off right before I got cancer, so I probably was fighting cancer long before that, but it's, you're just a late bloomer. You're just a late bloomer, that's all you are. Oh, this is bad, we need to get you on growth hormone. Maybe when I'm telling you something is wrong, something's actually fucking wrong with me. Okay? I know myself very well and I feel different, please help me. And high school is not a very forgiving place. Everyone just fucking destroys so much of what light is, and happy is, and good stuff, with grades and detention and this and that, and you didn't do this right, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that, this is gonna make this happen. None of it's real once you get out of high school. It doesn't matter. Matters is who you are, not what grades you got in school. I was 16 and I was more afraid of being fat during chemotherapy than I was about cancer killing me. That shows how fucked up my social esteem is. I can't speak for anybody else. I was 155 pounds when I got sick at 5'9", doing martial arts 5 to 6 hours a day and indoor soccer on the weekends. Every day on both Adderall and human growth hormone. Right, if anything, I needed to eat more. I went down to 112 pounds, and I still felt that I was fat based off of the comments of my youth. I still feel that I'm in a horrible shape, and that I'm not pretty enough, that I'm not beautiful enough to be with people. I think that's why I'm alone and I haven't found love yet. Or that I'm not smart enough, I haven't gotten the right job, the right money, the right car, the right look, I haven't said the right thing at the right time or done the exact perfect thing in the moment to save myself from loneliness. And this shit is getting fucking harder. It's not getting easier. I thought that life was gonna make sense and I was gonna be amazing when I grew up, and I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of just being fucking hurting all the time. And all my friends, oh, you just need to stop doing drugs, you'll be fine. I smoke weed and I drink beer. Oh, well, you did acid. You did LSD. That's bad for your brain. Have you ever had chemotherapy and had everything that you've ever built? I was sick. I'm tired of being small, so I did martial arts every single day until I felt confident enough to present myself physically to other people without fear of fatness. Chemotherapy is very bad for your brain. LSD made me happy. It made me love myself. I didn't feel like fucking crying anymore. I felt like giving myself a hug on levels that I haven't even been able to touch in over 10 years. So, when you think you know me because you've known me my whole life, it doesn't mean you know an ounce of what's inside of me. I have been hurting and composing myself to be acceptable to everyone for a long time, so that I could hang out with you instead of being the sick kid. Because after knowing that you're the sick kid to all of your friends, that does not feel good for your self-image. It doesn't, no matter how much you hang out. I still know how much disrespect, or, oh, Doug's not this, or Doug's not this because he had chemo, he was sick, he had cancer, he's probably not strong, he's probably not this, he's probably not this, Doug smokes weed, he's retarded. Maybe I'm sitting silently contemplating a motion of which you know nothing about. Viewing all of you because I treasure every second that I have to see all of you. I'm scared every day of being alone, but I'm more afraid to socially offend you, so I stay away from you and smoke myself to sleep and avoidance because I'm scared. I don't know how to talk to most of you because I feel if I open up and get serious, you feel that I'm retarded. I didn't understand that maybe you simply don't have the intelligence enough or the experience. That's insulting. I'm not insulting you guys, you're very smart, but the experience needed to hear me. Cancer sucks, dude. I lost over 10 pounds a month, but I was afraid of how pudgy I looked in my clothes. Everything changes when you get cancer. Close or far, as if you can do no wrong, all your friends, all your family, they start treating you differently, like you're the golden child, they're your best friend, and like, oh, I've loved you this, and let me tell you this story, let me tell you this, oh, so great, where were you when you were kicking my mom out of your family, right? You're isolating me away from all my cousins because my mom's nice and loves all of you guys no matter how angry you get at her. You can damn near throw her out of your family and she still just wants to love you. And then I don't see you for like 10 years. I get sick. Oh, Doug, blah, 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 blah. Great, thanks for being my friend when I'm about to die. I just had a confrontation with the meth head that's took my Subaru. He thinks that we're friends and that I'm gonna live with him. He doesn't understand that his memory is failing and he doesn't want to believe the crimes that he's committed. Telling him being a 50-year-old meth head is bad for your memory and it is not good. His lady, who he is with, who is a good person, just survived cancer herself, and he makes fun of her and belittles her. He spent 27 years in jail and done a lot of drugs, so he feels that he's smart in the manipulation game of other people. And I had to blow up at him because I'm sick and tired of him taking advantage of other people and hurting her. And he hadn't the balls to talk to me face to face when I'm standing up to him and yelling in his face that he had to call her and say, "Get your bitch ass in here." And I said, "You respect her and you do not call her that. You respect your woman if you love her. Stop this." And he was shutting down like a little boy with no room to stand. I apologize for the aggression that I've just displayed. I'm going to continue with the video that I was just making. But now I feel like I'm out of place with what I was reading. This life you can't really make up. This is just shit that happens every single day. When everyone changes around you in cancer, or at least I can't speak for cancer in general. I'm not fucking Captain Cancer. Hey, I'm just myself, and I'm having a weird accent right now. I've been so scared socially for being acceptable to the point of changing my voice to degrees of which I don't know my true voice. Right? Inflections of depth, of bass, or high pitched, or this or that for social cues to act this way or do this. I don't know my genuine own voice until I ramble to a point that it's indistinguishable between myself and random creation. So I don't know anymore. But I know when everyone starts changing, like especially the second time, right? Like the second time is better because the people that were with me the first time, they know that I'm gonna know if you're fucking changing the way that you're acting around me, and I'm older, so it's like, it's not ignorance on any of our parts. This is fucking scary shit. Alright, but there's a little voice the first time I got sick in my head or wherever that makes me feel like I'm still me, right? I am exactly the same person I was the minute before, the year before, the day before any of this shit went down. Please, all of you, don't fucking change like this, because as much as you think it's hard, because it's incredibly hard. I've never had to be the observer of someone with cancer, and at this point I crumble because it's just really hard to watch. But being the person that is sick and being aware, emotionally aware, because you've been sensitive to it your whole life, you're observing everyone on the sidelines of a fucking hospital bed with drugs, but my consciousness didn't leave. I was, maybe points it did, but I'm watching all of you, and I'm watching the change. And it's different than who you were. It's different than how you treated me. And maybe it's not different, it's just something you never experienced before. But it's hard to deal with, because then I get to watch it shift back to non-cancer mode. And then I get cancer again, and it shifts back to cancer mode. And my brain's like, great. Survival mode. Turn survival mode off. Survival mode. I don't know how the fuck to turn any of this off anymore, because it's not really a mode anymore. It's my fucking life. And my life is becoming more complicated every day, and then the numb of like, oh fuck ever, shit's happening. Just roll along. Weed helps with that, because it's like, just go eat something and pass out. That's about all you're gonna get in this life. Get a hug. Your dick doesn't work. Women see you as a freak because you're a sick person. Oh, you're just not that attractive. You can't have this job. Oh, your body's okay. Like, oh, thank you. How many people have to say your body's nice? Now my face sucks. My face used to be the good thing. My body used to suck. Now after cancer, because I don't have hair, I have kind of a bald, sickly, zombie-looking face that gets weird. But then bald became the thing, and I'm like, I don't fucking know anymore. I'm lonely, and I'm tired of this shit. Right? Fucking meth heads. Surgeons, like, I can only speak for the team that I had, but surgeons suck, right? They see whatever the fuck they just did. They're egoic little dudes that focus on the incision in your leg instead of respecting the fact that you're a person with feelings and you're aware of what they're doing, and you'd appreciate conversation and listening. Listen to them so you don't hurt them, right? Well, I didn't know he was in pain. Then why did you order pain meds and then just go ahead before the pain meds got there? It makes no sense, right? But doctors can be cool. Doctors cannot be cool. It depends on the doctor. It depends on the surgeon. It depends on who you are. But there needs to be some vast improvements in medical care about patient time with the patient care, knowing that the patient is a person, the same amount of person that you're a fucking person. Don't disregard them because they have an illness or this, or they have some fancy stuff on a piece of paper that's more interesting to you than talking to them. That needs to be the stronger point because they're the only ones inside of them. That's your front line of defense. If something's wrong, generally they're gonna feel it. And even if they're not, you need to listen to them. Right? Because every word they say could be their last. And it's very scary to be going through something that you don't understand, being poked and prodded. Every 4 hours, they give you drugs that knock you out for damn near a few days, but they wake you up every 4 hours like clockwork to check your blood pressure, take your vitals, check your blood pressure, take your vitals. So you're going in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out of consciousness. Beep, beep, boop, boop, beep, beep. In, out, wake up, check your vitals. Hi, mom and dad. Beep, boop, beep, boop. Back down, back up, back down. Allergic reaction. Back up, surgery. Back up, back down. That's so disorienting. If PTSD isn't the right word for it, I don't know what it is. But my sense of schedule and time and existence of consciousness has never truly been the same. Right? I don't think it ever really will be. The only thing you can do is find balance. Right? What the hell is balance? It's person to person dependent. It can be random. It can be brain chemistry. It can be body chemistry. It can be hormone related. It can be all these different things. It can be the rhythms of the earth. It can be your mom waking you up for food. It can be your dad waking you up for food. It can be your dad going with you because you're awake finally at 1:30 in the morning to go get your dinner because that's the only time you're hungry and you're awake. And all the med students are eating in the cafeteria in the middle of the night, and you're going to get a special permission to go down with your dad to get curly fries and a cheeseburger. Nurses are the shit. They're there 12 hours to 24 hours a day, 3 to 6 days a week, and they fucking care. They know firsthand because they're there every minute of the fucking day that the patients are what matters, not what's written down on a bunch of sheets of paper, but the patient. Making sure they're comfortable, they're happy, they're content, they're taken care of. Right? If it's a pillow, if it's a blanket, if it's tracking down a doctor in some different section of the hospital of 4 different phone numbers in an hour to get it just so that you can get a Benadryl. Because they make things so complicated for the nurses that they stress themselves the fuck out every single day just to take care of their patients. But they're there every hour of the day. My first main RN was Ron. Ron was a night nurse and he was freaking awesome. He let me press in my own chemo one time. But he's not allowed to do it, so don't tell anybody that I told you. One time, almost 10 years ago. Right? Because I asked, and I didn't get to do it by myself. He was pushing and was like helping a child, but it was so cool. I got to poison myself to save myself. And they're telling me that weed's bad for my brain, that acid's bad for my brain. I literally signed paperwork that tells me that every medicine that they're giving me can give me cancer in the years to come, but my friends are concerned because I try a recreational substance that was the dawn of a fucking era in the 70s that opened light to love and self-acceptance. Thank you. I think I'm going to take care of myself. Not your version of what's okay for me to do or not do, because your world is not the same as my world, at least in my opinion. Nurses light up the oncology ward with a light in a very, very cold space. I always wanted fancy clothes and I always had a budget because you can't just go get the nicest of everything all the time. But once I got cancer, they were like, well, you can get whatever the fuck you want. And I'm like, REA, I'm getting really nice clothes. I would be wearing 3 to 6 sweatshirts and I'd still be ice cold because having no blood cells in your body means that you have no way to keep yourself warm. That's cold. When you have the warmest blankets, medicines, and clothes on the face of the planet and you are still frozen to the bone in a room being hugged with your parents, but you're cold, and then you take a medicine that makes you go to sleep to wake up disoriented to get checked and you have to turn over, and by the way, I had a tube in my chest for 1.5 years that is attached with IVs. So I have to make sure that I don't rip a tube out of my chest while tossing and turning on medicines that knock your subconscious down so far into the dirt you don't know where the fuck you are. You start hallucinating and stay calm and still talk and still say hi and want to hang out with your family and then need space from your family and have to deal with emotions that I still to this day don't really understand. He picked the wrong day to start shit with me, the fucking meth head. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking talk to you, guy. Let's have that conversation right fucking now, okay? Back to the point. Oprah. In all honesty, I could write forever. I could talk forever. I've not even begun to declare the story that is my life outside of the tale of fucking cancer. Alright? Ordinary generally is not a description I've witnessed in living and breathing, so I ask you for help, as I want to love, heal, live, breathe, act right, sing, and play, but I survive on federally funded long-term disability at $890 a month. My Subaru that got stolen is in an impound yard called Valley Towing in Carson City. It's at $1,200. I made a police report and told them I only make $890 a month from the federal government. I don't have the money to even get my car out, and that's my living expenses and my food expenses. I'm without home right now. I'm staying with a couple named Jacob and Mandy that have offered me a place in their home. They said, we just want to help you out. Right? It's as simple as that. So I used the money I got on February, like I got brakes for them. I got a new phone because my iPhone, right? 2 weeks into moving into Nevada, like 4 days before my Subaru got stolen, so they could go on a meth run, right? While I was sleeping, taking my car. My cell phone disabled itself because it decided it needed a software update, and I wanted to listen to music that I was just listening to, so I tried to turn it off, and that apparently destroys your cell phone, so I lost all the numbers, all the photos, all the memories that I had on that phone are now gone. Apple can't help me, AT&T can't help me. I'm a procrastinator, I didn't back up my phone. Apparently my dad's a procrastinator. I am too, but he's technologically aware. I don't follow that stuff because I used to be a video game addict, and when I got 16, suddenly under chemotherapy, video games don't hold the same level of like, yay, this is awesome. It's like, I really don't care. Whoa, I really don't care. I really don't care. I really don't care. And now it's hollow and empty for me. I can get back into it, but it's not healthy. It's just such a high level of stimulation for my brain that it pulls me from my natural physical balance. So the cycles of balance that my bottom sets by the rhythm, whatever rhythm it is that the earth sets, I wreck that with video games or computers or any electronic stimulation. So I've done my best to try to stay away from that. I walk barefoot like a hippie every day. I smoke a little bit of weed. I've been eating. Every spiritual teacher, you need grounding. You need to eat protein and exercise and walk barefoot. Walk barefoot for 3 years. I've eaten protein for 3 years. I've exercised till I'm blue in the face. I think it's emotions, and I think it's shit that I don't know how to deal with. The anger that I feel keeps me grounded, but whenever I open up and somebody try to tell me, oh, you're a spiritual medium, that's what you are. And then I try to open up and channel spirits and talk to the deceased, which I hold with a level of sarcasm because I don't think that even if they're passed away, they're going to be like, oh, probably normal fucking people. Like, hey, shit just happened. Let it go. Right? But certain spiritual teachers don't like that, and when you open up with a calmness about that, some embrace it and accept it. But when real problems and shit go down, there's not a lot of true teachers that approach themselves. And the only true teacher really is yourself, because, or at least for me, I'm really fucking stubborn. And I don't trust a lot of people, probably because my internal system has fucked me over so many times. And the knowledge that I've been taught in school, or in the education system, or the authorities. Don't walk across the street. What if I run hella fast? I want to grab my shit before it gets smashed by a car and get the fuck out of the way. Right? There's little things that like, oh, it's going to be a $700 ticket. I didn't mean for it to fly out of my car. It just flew out of my car. What the fuck? I'll go grab it. I don't care. Rules and teaching, and it's like they're trying to lock every what are we as human beings, trying to lock us into this tiny little acceptable pattern of behavior so that you can feed off of our revenue for the rest of our life because we fear the rules that you've set for us, right? Cancer immediately tells you that those rules don't do a lot of shit. What if the rules and the chemicals and all of that shit that the government, the US of A, fertilizers, mosquito sprays, DEET, GMO crops. What if all of that and the processed food and chemicals after chemicals after chemicals to make like a $2 little treat from Walmart or Rayleigh's is the reason that I developed a leukemia, a blood-borne leukemia that affected my bone marrow to a point where I almost died. Yet I have to still follow every single rule and guideline that the U.S. government gives me so that I can live free as a citizen in the land of the free. We had to kill a bunch of native living people that were born here, lived here their whole lives. Let's murder them. Plant a flag. Eddie Izzard is an incredible comedian, right? This is a flag. We're going to live here. There's a few 100 million of us. You don't have a flag. Right? I'm no angel. I've done a shit ton of wrong in my life. But I try to make up for it every day by being a nice person and showing my heart to everybody. I love family, I love friends, I love happiness, I love seeing people happy, I love changing somebody's day that thinks it's going shitty and I just like drop off like $5 or a present and they're like, right on, man. And I'm like, yeah, roll that shit all fucking week, dude. Like, just feel that shit. It's so much cooler when you get what you want, and it's surprising how often it's just cash. It's just cash. But then you can have all the money in the fucking world. You have all the fame in the world. David Bowie just died at 69 of cancer. Right? And then Snape, like 4 days later, what the hell's wrong with the world? Right? You can have $1 million fucking dollars and you can get some brain cancer that's gonna kill you. You could be the most morally correct, courageous father that's been like you can be the best person in the fucking world and cancer will still kill you as if you're no one. No one. Right? And you can be a pain 25-year-old that has erectile dysfunction that probably lost the love of his life because he wouldn't open his mouth and accept the fact that it's okay to look a little sick after a bone marrow transplant. Maybe when she says she might want to marry you, take her a little bit more seriously instead of like, I'm probably the wrong person for you because you want kids. You can adopt, you dumb bastard. Like, stop shooting yourself in the dick and let somebody love you before it's too late, because now you have repressed memories and feelings of shit that you can't change because you can't change the past. Right? But I'm talking about myself. It's easier to rant in a different person so that I can just view my own fucking life. I very often find myself thinking like, Is this my life? Is this really my life? Like I have to take a moment. I'm asking myself, is this video too long? It's a free country and I just bought a cell phone with money that they gave me for surviving cancer and being disabled. First it was physical to keep health insurance and to survive so I didn't die. And then it's mental because I'm so fucking ragey and cry. Emotional jobs don't really work out because I'm like, am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it wrong? Am I doing it wrong? Not outwardly, but inwardly. So I'm destroying myself with pressure upon myself. And I don't know how to really stop that. To a point where $890 runs away with my little escapism and avoidance, and then I just like don't want to talk to people, or I do talk to people and they're like, you need to get help, you need to get help. I've been to therapy. Therapy doesn't help. They want to put me on drugs. I've been put on drugs. First drugs I got put on was after my dad's dad died, who I'm named after. Took antidepressants at 10. They gave me suicidal thoughts. So I stopped those cold turkey, had a mental break, and that's not a good thing. Apparently you can't stop SSRIs cold turkey. Then apparently I had ADD, had great grades in elementary school, or at least average, right? And then it's like F. We're gonna start him, or he's got ADD, right? We're gonna put him on Strattera, a non-stimulant form of ADD medication. That dropped my blood pressure and gave me a headache. Dropped my mom's blood pressure, gave her a headache. That's not good. Let's put him on Adderall. Let's listen to the 10-year-old, the 11-year-old that tells the trained psychologist, right? I think I've adjusted to the dose. I need a higher dose. Okay, here's another pill. A week later, I think I've adjusted to the dose. Let's give you another dose. Okay, here's another dose. So now I'm 80 pounds, I'm 11, and I'm taking 30 milligrams of Adderall XR. I'm basically a fucking tweaker on legal speed. My parents, don't do drugs, you're out of this house, but legally you're gonna get fucking growth hormone, Adderall, basically every poison known to man, every opiate downer medication known to man legally to keep you alive. But don't do drugs. Weed's bad. Don't do mushrooms. That's like doing chemo. Oh, I'm sorry. Giggling for a half hour in the fucking mountains. That's comparable to chemotherapy. Mushrooms took my hair away and made my dick stop working. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying that. That really helps me not feel bad about myself. That I didn't do something that you don't deem as acceptable in a land full of place, a land of opportunity that denies opportunity to everyone except the people that follow certain things. Or it's random, but whatever. I'm living off the kindness of strangers right now. I don't have a home. A week before my friend, or like a few days, maybe 3 or 4 days before my friend that taught me how to fish at 10 years old kicked me out of his house because I didn't do laundry. Right, after paying him $400 2 weeks ago to live in a tiny room. Half of my money to live in a tiny room. We went snowshoeing together, and he told me, you can't wear those boots. They're the wrong boots. Do you have any other boots? No, but you can't wear those boots. They're the only boots that I have. They're leather, rubber, waterproof outdoor boots. I went snowshoeing with you, wearing these same boots 2 years ago. You didn't say anything then. You can't wear those boots. I'm staying really calm for a man telling me what I can or can't wear on my own feet. Inside my own room. And you're pissing me the fuck off and I'm not even saying fuck you. I'm just trying to explain to you that I've already worn these boots and that I can wear them. No, you can't wear those boots, Doug. I out-hiked you a year out from a bone marrow transplant wearing the same boots that I out-hiked you and didn't complain about the cold once. I heard you complain about it multiple times. My feet weren't wet and frozen. Damn, if you're gonna talk to Oprah, be positive, don't be negative, right? I'm not even trying to be. That's one of the reasons, my friends, stay away from this, stay away from that. I don't have to be on substance to reflect upon things in an emotion that you deem as negative or positive, right? It's my own fucking brain. Let me talk. Let me feel how I want to feel. Let me express how I'd like to express. If you don't wish me to express things to you, please tell me that, and I shall refrain and remove myself from doing so. But don't tell me how or why or when, or like, all right? It's things that you guys don't even know, but you're telling me like you are some authority in that emotion when it's my own emotion. The fuck do you know about it? The Subaru is my favorite car, right? My sisters both bought multiple cars. None of them had cancer. I had 2 cancers and a bone marrow transplant. And then I worked as an exterior painter for a year and a half. Do you know how many bone marrow transplant survivors start working as an exterior painter, going up and down ladders, moving paint buckets, right? And then, like, after all of that time, then I got my first car. And fucking meth head took it. And right before I paused it, you might be able to see the separation. It was at like 19 minutes in this video. Try to tell me, oh, well, I'm gonna get you another car. And I owe you. And don't. And it's like, stop talking. If you think I'm your friend and I'm gonna live with you, you are living with me. My woman offered you a house. You're living off of her money. You keep telling yourself and everyone else that it's your money. It's her disability money from her cancer. I fixed a car for Mandy and Jacob with my disability money. You're tweaked out. It's not even worth talking about, all right? Being 50 years old and a meth head after 27 years in jail or prison is sad enough, but he's an egoic little bastard. And he spreads fear and violence because I think he's scared inside, right? And he doesn't have control, so he seeks to control others through manipulation. And it's sad to watch. That's part of the reason I'm here. I got in a fight with my family. I got kicked out by one of my friends, so I moved to Nevada, and I don't know what to do with life. And their friends, oh, take care of yourself. Don't take us for granted. Don't do this. Don't do that. Don't do this. It's like, I have no money. I have no car. What the fuck do you want me to do? Just take care of yourself. Don't do anything stupid. Oh, let me solve world hunger. I won't do anything stupid. What is stupid? Stupid is as stupid does. I am stupid, but I know what love is. Alright, I show love to just about every person that I meet. Every person that I know. I ask everyone how their day was. I ask them how their kids are. Alright, I get presents for people. I get gifts to people. Somehow I don't give gifts to my family. I'm selfish in that respect. I don't even know what to get them, and then when I do, they're like, you don't have to get us anything. So it's like self-defeating. I don't know. I gotta get better at secretly giving gifts. I'm no angel, and I don't believe in God. George Carlin and Robin Williams, they're my favorite comedians. But George Carlin, I feel, is a little bit more awesome for the fact that, like, I never saw a TV show with Robin Williams, right? He was in Aladdin, but George Carlin, he was the fucking conductor, right? The conductor on Thomas the Train Engine. That was my favorite book as a kid because I could actually read it. The engine that could, Thomas the Train Engine. One of the dirtiest adult comedians ever with eloquence and poise was the conductor. His life is awesome, man. Yeah, I don't know how to say it, which is probably better because Dane Cook already jacked parts of his line, parts of other people's line, parts of everybody. Nobody needs to try to steal from George Carlin. It's like the stupidest thing in the world. It's like admitting you're ridiculously stupid. Right. If we're all living believing that there's an old guy in a cloud shaking his finger, no, what you doing there? What are we living for? What are you breathing for? What are you loving for? Are you doing the right things for yourself? What is the right thing? If you're fearing shit that you cannot see in a place that you know nothing about from a book that was written 2,000 years ago by people you don't know, why are you stressing yourself out about, like, I'm gonna burn in hell forever? What if burning is ecstasy? And hell is a word for a bar, and you got cool friends that are going there too because they don't believe in anything that's written in that scripture. Oh, man. Negativity, positivity, building the positivity, right? If someone tells you that they're a spiritual teacher, they're probably not a spiritual teacher, right? If they're telling you that they're a healer and a psychic, they're probably not a healer and a psychic. They might be. They might be self-important and looking for attention. Okay, so it took me a long time to open up. I never really believed in all that stuff. I left an openness in me. Alright, but I never really fully explored any of that stuff. And when I did, I gave like my full faith, my full wit, my everything. Alright? That's the wrong thing to do because at the end of the day, what the fuck do they know? Right? That's putting all of my hopes and prayers in one little thing that can crash down as easily as you can crush a styrofoam cup in your hand. Right? Oh, I can help you. Oh, let me do this. Let me do this. I'm scared because I have a lot of intensity and I don't want to hurt anybody. Oh, you can't possibly hurt me. Right? And then a few months later, don't bring your anger here. Don't ever call me again. That's not a very good teacher. Now I'm scared because I'm alone and I opened up psychic doorways in my head that I know nothing about. And I thought you were a teacher that knew something about that. You really just like attention and people to fucking stroke your own ego. Right? So now I've got what's not psychotic issues per se. I'm wrapped in a lot of emotions that still need healing. But anybody that tells you you're a spiritual medium, you don't have to speak to any spirits that you don't want to speak to. And if you are sensitive, if you have been near death a whole bunch of times, I fully believe that there's connections the other side, right? I talked to my doctor about it, and he was like, I think that it's your brain offering you, like, your brain's so good at giving you what you want, right? That if you want it bad enough, your brain can almost just make it for you. And if you want it bad enough, you can probably believe it. And that's confusing to decipher between real messages if you believe in real messages. Alright, so if you believe, that's perfectly fine. If it's real to you, then it's real to you. You don't have to force it on anybody else. You don't have to charge $100 an hour to give a psychic reading. You can do whatever you want to. You can not do whatever you want to. But don't fear someone into a choice or tell them things that you think as if they're a certainty, because they might take it a little bit more seriously than you even understand. And if they're on the verge of crumbling, that seriousness might be heartbreaking for them socially when they're already so scared socially they don't know what to do, right? Oh, that's very shamanic. You don't know what a shaman is. You read about it in a book. Stop scaring people or telling them what they are when you don't know what the hell you are. You're a person, the same as everybody else. Don't fill people's head with shit that endangers them, right? For the attention that it gives you, because it's interesting. And know that if you do, it can still fucking hurt people, right? Be careful with people's minds. If you do have gifts of the psychic ability sort, no, this switched, but like I've spent the last 3 years trying to open up psychic gifts and things because my mom wanted me to stop drinking to numb the pain that I was feeling. It wasn't pain, I just didn't know what the fuck to do, so I'm like, might as well drink. Numb it away, and I'm okay. Not really. Your organs just survived a secondary leukemia and a bone marrow transplant, even worse chemos. And now you start smoking cigarettes, drinking, and smoking weed. Good job, Doug. Really mature with your fucking choices in life. Alright. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to refuse help. I had some lady that said, we placed our hands on him and healed him with the power of Jesus. Do you want me to do the same? No. She just grabbed my head and tried to do it anyway. I was coming down from the chemo ward to get a Snickers bar at the snack shop. Right? I was on crutches. She violated my personal space after I told her no. Right? Then my first girlfriend was a Christian youth group leader who told me she wasn't serious about it. 6 months into the relationship, I'm serious about it. 8 months in, I'm leaving you to build a closer relationship with God. You're too much of a temptation. Thank you. I'm gonna go drink now. Goodbye. And did the drink and sleep and sleep around. And actually came to kind of, I think, a natural balance of like, I'm alright. And then they're like, you got cancer again. And I'm like, fuck. My parents, they came into my room. You need another bone marrow aspirate on Saturday. Your blood test came back and it's bad. I started laughing. They're like, are you okay? I'm like, yep. I don't think they thought I was okay, but I just went back to sleep. I was hella drunk. Or hungover. At 10 in the morning, I'm still hella drunk, but I don't want to wake up, so I'm going to sleep on it. Alright? Then I just carried that drunk sarcasm, charisma shit over the ward, and they're like, this is serious. I had a 42% chance of survival. A secondary cancer. I had AML, acute myeloid leukemia. I'm probably saying it wrong. My dad was like, I want to know everything about this. So I was like, I don't really give a fuck. I just got over a growth hormone deficiency and I feel beautiful for the first time, and you're telling me I'm going to lose all my hair and all the muscle I just built and all the coordination and all the physical strength and all that in-between meat that's not really muscle or fat, but just meat that builds stability. And I'm going to lose all that. And then thought that it wasn't God that she left me for the second time. I thought it was, I believed that, but then I still felt I was fat, and I felt like if I was in shape, or like better shape, that I would be still with her. So I started working out and painting. So I was painting before I got sick. I started working out and painting and going to college, right? I got buffer and stronger than I've ever been, had all my hair. I looked gorgeous to my eyes. I was so pretty. And now I feel like I haven't seen myself in over 5 years. So when people I know don't understand why I am the way I am, I haven't seen me in over 5 years. And you're asking me to just get a job and I'll be happier. Do you think that's true? I haven't felt that way. Please help me, Oprah. A book, a talk, a show. I don't know. I want to just change my life for the better and hope I can help people. Have a great day. I hope this gets a lot of viewers and I get attention because I need the help. Bye.